Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome back. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. God always shows up on time. And I know that we say this, we know this, but do we truly believe that God will show up right on time? I noticed just this week that God was highlighting things in my life to inspire me to really go into depth on what it really means to wait on God. Now, I know that we think that it would be great if God showed up far in advance than the moment that we actually need Him. But would that actually be best? Where would the character development come? Where would our faith grow if God simply granted everything that we needed far before we needed it? Perhaps we would think that we were achieving things on our own strength and not on Him. God, may that never be the case. God wants to show us the beautiful miracles that can only come from Him when we are waiting on Him to show up in the moment. And usually that's going to be in that midnight hour. It's going to be at that last possible moment when we actually need it the most. That's when He'll do it. And so the risk, and it's not really a risk, but the risk in our mind may be just saying, you know what, God, I have this thing that's due on Friday. I'm going to wait until Friday to watch you move. I'm not going to get involved with trying to do things my way. I'm going to wait on you to show me the way. And as He shows you the way, then everything, that thing that's pressing, that needs to be paid on Friday will be paid. But it's going to take us waiting on God. Now, we can go out quickly and strive to make things happen. But when we try to strive to make things happen, meaning we're not waiting on God to show us the way, but we figure we're going to do it the way, what that usually looks like, it looks like a lot of time wasted, energy spent, never seeing God work. That's the biggest thing. And usually we're doing things that seem more difficult, seem like it took a lot of energy and effort to achieve and make it happen. And then at the end of the day, we're like, whoo, thank God we made it happen. But really, God wants to show you a miracle. So then there'll be another opportunity where you need to either decide I'm going to wait on God, or you're going to go out and hustle and figure it out and rack your brain and release all energy and do it the hard way. Or at some point, we can step in and do it the effortless way, which will be simply waiting on God. And what it means to wait on God, it means to hold ourselves back. We have that thing due on Friday. God knows we have that thing due on Friday. But you tap in with God. God, you show me the way to pay this thing on Friday. I don't want it to be on my terms. I want it to be on your terms. When we're doing that, God will effortlessly, organically bless us in the direction that He wants to use us to make that goal, to meet that goal, to make sure that that bill is paid on time. And what we'll find is it was done effortlessly. It was done with little ease. Sometimes it's done with us not even have to do anything. In comes, as I like to say, money manna from heaven. You know, all business is not our business. Meaning when we're trying to do things on our own strength, and we understand what our month looks like, and we're thinking like, oh my God, I got to make all this happen on my own strength, then perhaps we'll just take all the business, do all the jobs, all the things that are misaligned with our soul, really spinning our energy, giving our time, our precious currency, really, which is our time, away from ourselves, from our family, from the things we want to create, because we're out busy trying to make a living, earn a living, in a misaligned way to pay the bills. When God is saying all along, I will show up right on time and I will make the journey a beautiful adventure. And you will not only lose energy, but I will increase your energy. And it will be given to you by the very things that are aligned with me, which are the beautiful things that you really want to do anyway. But the thing is, we don't want to wait on God. We want to figure it out on our own strength. We see that bill's coming due on Friday and we know it's Wednesday and we start saying, you know what, God, well, clearly you ain't paying the bill. No, is it Friday? The bill says it's due on Friday and it's Wednesday. You got time. I got time. God is saying, I want to see if you'll wait till Friday. If you will wait for me on Friday, you'll have that bill paid. But oh no, that's too risky in our head. In our head, we're thinking, I can't think about this anymore. I want to get this done. I just got to figure out how to pay it now. Okay, well then if you're going to live your life like that, then God bless you. You're making a choice. But God is saying, I can take care of it easily if you just give it to me and don't pick it back up. When we wait on God, He makes our path straight. And when we makes one path straight, He makes all paths straight. When we're waiting on God, He shows up right on time. And what I found in my own life, which is what God has been highlighting for me this week to share, was that everything is done on time. I'm always on time. Even when the clock says I'm late, I'm actually on time. In comes my little testimonies. Just from this week alone. I have a calendar that everything goes on my calendar. Parties, events, phone calls, meetings, clients, people I have to check in with and call. Everything is on my calendar. As a result of the calendar not being able to hold everything, I use my notes as a to-do list. So I have a very clear list on things I need to do before I go to Japan, things I need to do by the end of the week. I have several to-do lists and I consult my calendar and my to-do list every day. That way, I'm making sure I'm organized. I'm making sure that everything is done in the order it needs to be done and nothing is missed. But here's the thing, I'm human. Oh, things are missed. But here's the beautiful part. I'm not working alone. I'm not in this alone. God reminds me daily He is on my team. And the things that my calendar may miss, as a result I miss, God never lets me miss. He will gently nudge me like He did on Saturday. I woke up on Saturday. Something didn't go on my calendar like I normally would. Just a little backstory on me. I have all my bills on auto pay with the exception of a couple. Like, I don't want to have to think about my bills being paid. Like, they're on auto pay. Take the money when you need the money. I don't want to think about it. But a couple of things are not. In comes Saturday. I'm just waking up in the morning thinking about all the beautiful things that I'm going to create with God, that I'm going to create for you, for me, for the world. And God just gently nudged me like, you got that thing that's due today and it's not on auto pay. And immediately I thought, oh my God, you're right. I do have that thing that's due today. Okay, let me go on and log in and let me make sure I get that paid. And then I thought, wow, God, like I could have really missed that mark. I could have really missed that deadline. But really, I would have never missed the deadline because I already have built up momentum, built up faith, built up trust in God, knowing that God always shows up on time. So then here He is showing up on time. Here He is nudging me the moment something is due. I forgot. I let it slip, but God doesn't. God gave me that gentle reminder. Before we get started, log in and pay that thing. You don't got that on auto pay. And then it was done. But here's the beautiful thing. Even if I would have forgotten to pay the bill and I didn't heed God's message, because He's always reminding us, if I didn't heed God's message that it was done and I would have been late paying the thing, I would have been okay, right? Nothing would have been lost. I would have been fine. I could have paid it the next day. But no, here's the beautiful alignment. When we are waiting for God, understanding that God shows up right on time, He aligns everything in our life to be right on time. So all the bills are paid on time. Will it kill you if things are paid late? No, but think about the integrity of a person who doesn't pay their bills on time, who's late. But when we step in that beautiful integrity and we're waiting on God and we're saying, God, I trust you. I trust our relationship. I trust that you're going to show up on time. Then He creates our whole life to be on time, including all the bills. And here's the beautiful thing. God pays these bills. God knows. I don't know how these bills be getting paid because I feel like I don't work. Yes, I have clients and yes, money comes in, but I don't feel like I work. I feel like I play all day and yet the bills come in. And I'm not earning a grand living here, but my lifestyle is grand. So I don't know, it doesn't make sense, but those are the miracles that come from God. And not only is there no struggle, but things are paid on time all the time. Like, you're not even going to let me, God, miss a due date, even on my bills, like everything. God's saying, no, you wait on me to be on time. So then you waiting on me to be on time. I'm aligning everything. All the bills going to be paid on time. You're going to be in the right place at the right time on time. It's always going to be on time. He aligns everything. Just yesterday, I took a yoga class, and now my yoga studio closes the door, locks it the moment class starts. So I booked a 5:30 class last night, and it takes me 10 minutes to get there on my bike. And when I looked at the clock, I was leaving my house and I had 5 minutes to get there. It takes 10 minutes to get there. And I know they locked that door right on time. But God made sure I'm gonna be on time, right? So I heard God. He was like, no, go. I led you to book the class. You're always in the right place at the right time. Just go. Forget the clock. Discount that. Trust me, because I have the last say. So I got on my bike and I started pedaling. And I'm pedaling as fast as I can because I'm trying to beat the clock, But it occurred to me, I couldn't go faster than I was already going. Like, that was the max limit. So then what am I trying to do things on my own strength? That's it. I can't go any faster. I might as well relax here and enjoy the scenery. I'm going to arrive when I want to arrive. And I know that God says He's going to show up right on time, meaning then I will show up right on time. I don't care what the clock says. I don't care what the yoga studio does all the time, closing the door right on time. God says He's on time, so I'm going to be on time. I showed up there. Now I am on the clock 5 minutes late. Right? It's now 5:35. This is unheard of. The doors close and lock at 5:30. Soon as I pulled up, the yoga teacher was just closing the door. So she saw me and she quickly opened it again. Joe, come on in here. Right on time. Because God says, when I'm leading you anywhere, you will be right on time when you are trusting me to be right on time. And God, just like that 5 minutes that I had to make it happen to get into class, God will show up just like that at that last hour. But He's going to push us to that last hour because He wants to grow us in our faith to trust Him for more. So we're going to have to wait in that last hour. But do you trust God? Or are you still trying to do things on your own strength? I was thinking about just this week, I can't wait to share, but we got a lot of beautiful collaborations that are dropping very soon this month. And I can't wait to share. I will be sharing that in the next couple of combos for sure. But I had to pull in a couple creatives. And I know the deadline that we have. And as I'm sending emails and I'm waiting for them to respond because I'm like, I got a deadline. And you're not responding properly or quickly enough. I hear God just saying, I'm going to show up on time. Meaning I'm going to cause that creative to show up on time. So just release it in the moment and do the things I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to relax right here. I'm asking you to go take a hike right here. I'm asking you to take a breath right here. And don't worry, don't rack your mind. Don't send another email to the creative trying to rush their process. They creating something for you, something for me, something for the world. You don't want to rush that. Give them space to breathe as I'm giving you space to breathe. And God is saying, and just know, I'm going to cause them to show up right on time. And sure enough, soon as I obey God and I let it go, and I go on the hikes and the walks, right? Not worrying about working. Then when I'm done with the hike, this is a true story, y'all. I get back home and I open my email, bing, bing, bing. The creatives reach me just on time. Always on time. When we are waiting on God, He will not cause us to be late. He will not cause those that are serving us to be late. It may look like on the surface, like, oh my goodness, time is twinkling down and I'm not going to get this done. But when we're wholeheartedly waiting on God, oh no, He ain't going to make us go past that deadline. He's going to be right on time, but He's going to take us all the way to that final hour to see where our trust is. Is it with God? Or is it with things of the world? If it's with things of the world, you're going to have a hard go. If it's with things in the world, and ask yourself if this is how you're living, perhaps you're missing the mark. Perhaps you are always delayed on the bills, at work, at the parties. Perhaps you are just, it just doesn't seem like you're ever in the right place at the right time. It's a beautiful place to be there because now you can see where there's misalignment. God can correct that to make sure you're in the right place at the right time. When I go to parties or events and I think, yeah, I'm looking at the clock and I see I'm running late, but I know because I live this way deeply with God, I know that it's going to be right on time. And sure enough, when I arrive at the event, it's like, Joe, you're right on time. We were just pulling out this. Or Joe, right on time. The guest of honor is showing up in 10 minutes. You're right on time. Always pay attention to what's happening on the surface of your life because God is showing you where there's alignment, meaning you're always in the right place at the right time, no matter what the clock is showing you. Or perhaps you are missing the mark, and that's okay too, because God is showing you that you're missing the mark because He's saying, I can correct that for you. But you're going to have to wait on me this time. I know it's going to look scary. I know it's going to look like I'm going to be late. That's what God is saying. It's going to look like I'm going to be late. But right when it needs to happen, right when you need to pay that bill, right when you need to be at that place, bam, it's going to be right on time. And then you're going to know it was God that did it, not you. If you're waiting on yourself, you're leaving God out of the equation, and God will step out of the equation. He's hurting. He wants to make it better, but He'll let us strive and spend our energy and do it the hard way when we're leaving Him out of it. I was thinking about, I had this big membership that I'm a part of. I guess that's the easy way to say it. And the membership renews yearly. And now I haven't partaked with this membership for the last year and a half. And I wanted to cancel it last year. But I said, I'm going to let it roll one more year, and it's a big price tag. It's like a $500 membership a year. But I let it roll the next year. Last year I let it roll. I was like, I haven't used it, but whatever. I'll let it roll one more year. So this year came up, and as the year is coming up, and I'm knowing this is about to renew, and I didn't necessarily have it on my calendar. I mean, I did. But I wasn't really. I did. I'll just say that. I called them to cancel. And for whatever reason, I couldn't cancel at that moment. But they were like, just call back next week, and you can cancel then. Don't worry, the renewal is at the end of the month, yada, yada, yada. So that's when I didn't put the second reminder in my calendar. So I just let it go. I'm thinking, it's just next week. I'll remember. I intended to remember, and our intentions are powerful, but I intended to remember. So I'm just going through life. Now I'm thinking about my trip that's coming up. I'm thinking about all the things I got to finish and wrap up here while I'm here and da da da. And I looked up, of course it's God. God kind of nudged me like, that membership. And I freaked out, almost leaped out of my soul, because it's a big ticket, $500, when I don't need to be shelling out $500 for something I'm not using when I'm getting ready to go on this big trip and trust God for bigger things. No, but even God was like, don't let this go again, So I looked up and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to cancel that thing. It wasn't on my calendar, but God nudged me. Thank you, God. And when I called, I was right on time. I'm getting close to that deadline where they would have just automatically took out that money. But God nudged me. That membership needs to go. And I just said, oh my gosh, thank you, God. But that's the thing. That's when I knew, okay, God, you're showing me something here, because it's been a big week of me waiting on creatives, a big week of me waiting on, dropping the ball on bills that needed to be paid that I forgot I needed to pay. They weren't on my calendar, but God made sure that I was not missing any deadlines. He made sure things were canceled. Things were paid on time. I was in the right place at the right time. But it's all because I have set up the momentum of trusting God. Where will you trust God to show up on time? If we do, you're going to be in the right place at the right time. Why? Because God is showing up on time. I'm thinking about going back to business. All business ain't our business. I'm thinking about, on my calendar, I have some things that are coming due, this week actually. And I wasn't looking so far ahead. I've already described, I don't look so far ahead into the future. Because I know that God is not going to cause me to miss a step. I know that whatever needs to be done is going to be done in the moment. So I relaxed a lot, where I don't need to focus in so much on what's coming up, because I know God is going to remind me in the moment I need him to, because he shows up right on time, right? I keep dropping that because I want us to get this in. I want it to seep in. I want this to penetrate. So I was offered some business. I have a beautiful client that I work with often, and I was offered some business, and I thought, talk about money manna falling from heaven, right? God will use all kind of ways to bring us money when we are waiting on him to do it. As we're giving away the gifts he's asking us to give away. So the client reached me and for some business, and I was like, I'm okay right now. Meaning, I got some things I'm working on. I could use more time working on the things that I'm working on. I don't necessarily need the money the client is offering. Of course, I want to be of help, but of course, I need to prioritize what we're doing here on the Ultimate Love Letter. I need to prioritize God's work, what God is having me do on the other projects I'm working on. And even though those projects are not monetizing now, I got to make this clear. I go where God goes, because I know God will monetize everything. So I know that the client is offering money, but I need to check in with my spirit. And yes, that might mean me prioritizing the business that's God's business that doesn't look like it's monetized, but really in the spiritual realm, it has monetized, because God blesses us with money manna from heaven as we're doing his work. I need to make that clear for someone. So when the business came, I was like, no, I think I might deny this business. But then God kind of gently stopped me and was like, no, you don't see what's coming around the bend. Take this. You're going to need this. I'm setting you up for something that's going to happen next week. And so, of course, I was like, oh, okay, God, you're prioritizing this. So then I accepted the business. In came the money. And then he's right. Here we are this week. And I'm like, oh, yeah, God, duh. I needed the money for that this week. So that's how God works when we are trusting God to show up the moment he needs to. God, as we're doing this as a byproduct, I also must say this, God will show us what to do first, second, and third. Meaning, when the clients come, God will show if this is for you. Like, yes, you're to take this work, or no, you're not to take this work. For instance, I've already said, I'm not earning nearly as the living I was earning, last year, or especially not the year before. But I know I have grown deeply in my faith muscles. And so God, injects the income. So I was free to decline 3 pieces of business just yesterday. It's crazy. And yes, God confirmed I can deny those, but God brought in the business to show me that, look, I'm going to always bring in this business for you. And you are so rich, spiritually rich in your faith, rich in your trust, that I want you to see that now you're able to even say, nah, I don't need to do that. Nah, that seems too hard. Nah, not this week. No, I reject that business. But that's the rich mindset that comes from knowing that God will show up always on time. We don't need to take all the little jobs that just because they're giving us money. No, God will give you money when you are doing the things God says to do. So understand that you're royalty. Understand all business ain't your business. God will show you what to take and what not to take. He'll also bring the business so that you have the satisfaction of understanding you are in demand, God is in control, and the business is coming. And now you're so abundant, you can say, no, I don't need that business. Even though the money may not necessarily be in the bank accounts and held in the assets, but you don't care. You're holding your bank balance, your assets are held in heavenly realms. Understand that God will make sure everything is done and paid and given on time the moment we need it. It's time to step into this truth, y'all. It's time to stop striving, stop struggling, stop worrying. There's an easier way. Risk it a bit, but really there's no risk. Risking it is just simply saying, I trust you, God, to do this. It looks like a risk, but really it's a huge reward. God has a power to make our path straight. If you see that you're just never in the right place at the right time, you're struggling, you're always behind on everything, time, finances, strength, energy, love, peace, all the things, God can easily correct the course. But it's going to take us waiting on God to show up in that midnight hour. That's it. That's all, y'all. I had to give that to you. I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you so much for finding us on YouTube. If you haven't yet, please find us on YouTube and subscribe. Thank you for those who share. And I must say, we are like blowing up on Spotify, y'all. Spotify is our hosting platform. And so I really check those numbers first, other than Apple and Amazon and iHeartRadio. Although God bless them, I need to start, definitely checking those numbers there. But on Spotify alone, the numbers that come in just automatically, we are going, y'all. And it's because of you. It's because you continue to share. You continue to be here. You continue to watch and learn and listen and comment. And I just love you so much. We couldn't have done this without you. We won't. And we couldn't continue to do this without you. You are part of my mastermind. It's me, it's you, it's God. Thank you so much for loving your podcast. You are the ones that are building this with me. And remember, if you haven't reviewed it yet, please, the reviews make our show, your show, more recognizable. And I have to give a quick shout out. If you haven't checked out worldtreasure.shop, which is the official site of Tull merch, please consider doing that. And then tag me in the merch that you select, because I would love to repost. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again soon. Bye for now.